Good afternoon, students. Welcome back to Signals and System online video lectures. In today's class, I'm going to talk about the classification of signals by reviewing the previous class. In the previous class, we have studied the signal definition and followed by the one particular class of signals. Signal may be anything which conveys the information or which carries the information, and signal is a physical quantity and it is a single valued function of one or more independent variable. So the definition of the signal is very simple. It may be anything, signal may be anything which conveys the information or which may be anything which carries the information or which conveys the information. So here, and it is a single valued function of one or more independent variable. That independent variable may be the time, space, pressure, distance, space, etc. So the signal quantity can be dependent on independent variables. So basically, signal is a dependent function. It is a dependent function on one or more independent variable. Dependent function of one or more independent variable. So, from the definition of the signal, it is very clear that signal can be anything and which is a dependent function of one or more independent variable. If the signal is dependent on only one independent variable, that is called single dimensional signal or one dimensional signal. If the signal is dependent on more than one independent variable, that is called a multi-dimensional signal. So here I can represent this signal is like this. Signal is also called as function. If I am going with x of t. So this is the representation of the one-dimensional signal or the single-dimensional signal. Here x is a dependent function. X is a dependent function or is also called as signal. Is dependent function on independent variable. Here the independent variable is time. So this is called a single dimensional signal. The speech signal or the voice signal, audio signal is the best example for the single dimensional signal. Coming to the multi-dimensional signal, and it is a dependent function of one or more independent variable. I am going with the one or more independent variable like this. So x is a dependent function on time, temperature and pressure, so that it is named as a multi-dimensional signal. The best example for the multi-dimensional signal is image signal. So here we have discussed the signal definition, and it is a dependent function of one or more independent variable. There are two types of signals we have. One is single dimensional signal, another one is a multi-dimensional signal. In the signals and system entire syllabus, we are going to study the only single dimensional or a one dimensional signals only. Single dimensional or one dimensional signals we are having the syllabus. That one dimensional signals will be classified into the 5 categories or 6 categories. Based on the characteristics and the nature of the signal, we can classify the signals into the 6 categories. And from these 6 categories, 1 2-mark question, 1 short answer questions we can expect. 1 short answer question, that is for 2 or 3 marks, we can expect the 1 question. Only definitions you can be asked in the exam. So based on the classification, based on the characteristics and the nature of the signal, one-dimensional signal can be classified into the 6 categories. First one is called time, continuous time and the discrete time signals. First classification is continuous time and the discrete time signal. Second one is a deterministic and the non-deterministic signal. This we have studied in the probability theory and stochastic process in the 3rd semester for the EC students. And coming to the another type of the classification, that is called even signal and odd signal. Fourth one is the periodic signals and aperiodic signal. Fifth one is a energy signal and the power signal. Last one is a real and imaginary signal. In these 6 categories, 1 question will be asked in the exam in short answer, that is from the periodic signals and aperiodic signals and the energy signals and power signals. From these 2, you can expect the 1 question for the short answers. So I am going to define the continuous time signal. I am going to explain each and every classification of the one-dimensional signal. We have the 6 classifications, 6 types of one-dimensional signal, in which I am going to talk about the first one, that is continuous time signals and the discrete time signals. Unknowingly, we have studied the definitions and the examples of the continuous time signal. Anyway, I am going to explain the same in the first type of the one-dimensional signal, that is continuous time and the discrete time signals. So this is the continuous time and the discrete time. We are going with the definition. First definition we have to understand. Continuous time signal, a signal of continuous amplitude and the continuous time is known as continuous time signal or analog signal. Sometimes we can call this is analog signal also. Definition is very, very important. A signal of continuous amplitude and the continuous time, then that signal is named as, it is a continuous time signal, or it is also called as an analog signal. In other way, you can define this one. A signal is said to be continuous time signal for all the time t, so that t must be continuous and the amplitude is also continuous. That signal is named as continuous time signal. The key point in case of continuous time signal, signal is defined over the continuous range of time. You have to remember the key point in this particular continuous time signal, that is signal is defined over a continuous range of time. Signal is defined over a continuous range of time, so that for every value of time, we can have the signal. That is called continuous time signal. A signal of continuous amplitude and the continuous time is known as the continuous time signal, and this signal will have the some particular value at every instant of time. At every instant of time in the given range of time, we can have a particular value for this type of signal, that is continuous time signal. Continuous time signals are represented with x of t. Continuous time signals are represented with x of t. So here it can be represented The continuous time signals will enclose the independent variable. Here t is nothing but independent variable in parentheses. So this independent variable is enclosed in parentheses, and this representation, it is a mathematical representation for the continuous time signal. Definition also you have to remember. A signal is said to be continuous if its amplitude and the time must be continuous within the given range of the time, that is continuous time. Examples of the continuous time signal, that is sinusoidal wave, cosine wave, triangular waves, etc. Then I am taking the one particular example for the continuous time signal. Before going for the example for the continuous time signal, I am going to write the definition for the continuous time signal. A signal of continuous amplitude and a continuous time here the time is the independent variable. Continuous time is known as continuous time signals, CTS. In short, we can call it as CTS. That means what? There will be a signal at every instant of time. It is represented with x of t, and the independent variable time is enclosed with the parentheses. These brackets are named as parentheses. So now I can go with the one particular example for the continuous time signal. You have to remember that the graphical representation of signal, always independent variable must be taken on x-axis and the amplitude of the signal must be taken on y-axis. It is very important point. Independent variable. Here we are having the x of t. In overall x of t we can call amplitude of the signal or strength of the signal, where t is a independent variable, so that in a graphical representation of any signal, x of t must be taken on y-axis, and whereas independent variable, that is time, can be taken on x-axis. So that by having this thing, I am going with the representation of a signal. Here I am going with the one particular signal, that is continuous time signal. This is t, it is an independent variable time, and this is x of t. X of t is nothing but it is the amplitude of the signal or strength of the signal. If this is x of t and this will be minus x of t only, we know this one. If it is t, this will be the minus t only. So I am giving the definition for the continuous time signal, that signal must be continuous. Signal must be continuous within the given range of time. Signal defined over a continuous range of time. Continuous range of time. The signal must be continuous. The signal must be continuous means amplitude and the time must be continuous. So that I am taking the one particular signal. This is a signal. So I am having the time range is from here to here. Now this is a continuous time signal, and that continuous time signal is there from, this is obviously it is 0, and I can call it is t1, I can call it is t2. And here this I can call it is minus t1 and I can call it is minus t2. So from here there is a signal, here there is a signal from minus t2 to plus t2. Or you can call that signal, there is a signal from minus infinity to plus infinity also, because the signal is there from minus t2 to minus infinity, that is 0 only. And here t2 to positive infinity, that is also 0. So that the signal is specified, signal is defined over a continuous range of time, that is from minus t2 plus t2. In case of continuous time signal, we no need to represent these values also, because we require to know only range. From here to here the signal is continuous. From here to here the signal is continuous, and this types of signal is named as continuous time signal, and the y-axis represents, it is the amplitude. I can call this amplitude is capital A. In case of quadrant 1, as the t value is increasing, in the positive side, that the amplitude has been decreasing. And in case of quadrant 2 also, as the t value is increasing in the negative manner, that the amplitude is also decreasing. This type of signal is named as continuous time signal. Simple definition: a signal of continuous amplitude and the continuous time is known as continuous time signal. It is mathematically represented with x of t. X is a dependent function on independent variable, that is time t. Signal is defined over a continuous range of time. That means what? For every instant of time, from here to here, from minus t2 plus t2, for every instant of time there is a signal. Even that is a 0 also there is a signal. 0 is also, we can treat it as a 0. It is a signal. Minus t2 plus t2, there is a signal for every instant of time. That is called, it is a continuous time signal. Then I am going with the discrete time signal now. Discrete time signal. If you are clearly understand this continuous time signal, then the discrete time signal definition is very, very simple. Discrete time signal will be defined. The key point here, the signal will be defined at a discrete instant of time only. That means what? There will be a signal. There will be a signal, or a signal will be defined at certain time instants only. Certain time instant. It is very clear. Here, for every instant of time there is a signal in case of continuous time signal, whereas in case of discrete time signal we will be having the signal at a certain time instants only. Certain instant of time only we can have the signal. This is called the discrete time signal, and it is denoted with the x of n, where n is not the time and it is an independent variable. We can call it is an integer. Then I'll go with the another definition of the discrete time signal. Discrete time signal is a one. Discrete time signal is defined only discrete instant of time. Thus the independent variable, that is integer value, has a discrete values which are usually uniformly sampled. Then I'll explain that one. A signal is represented only at a discrete instant of time is known as discrete time signal. Therefore, discrete time signals have values only at a certain instant of time. The definition, I am going with the definition. A signal is represented only at discrete instant of time. Discrete instance of a time. This time we can call it is an independent variable. Generally, we should not call, in case of discrete time signal, this is not time, it is the integer. We should call it is an integer. Why it will be the integer? I'll explain this. So a signal is represented only at a discrete instant of integer or the independent variable. Then that signal is named as, it is the discrete time signal. It is denoted with the x of n, where n is not time. You should remember this is x is not a time, it is an integer. It is an integer. I'll explain why we should not take it as a time, why we should call it as a integer. So here we can go with the one particular So if we go with the example of the discrete time signal, that is, if we take the blood pressure readings of a patient after every 1 hour and plot the graph, the resultant signal will be a discrete signal. So, but I am going to explain that a discrete time signal from the continuous time signal only. Here we are having the continuous time signal, and that by using the continuous time signal, I am going to explain the discrete time signal. Continuous time signal will be converted into the discrete time signal by using the process is named as a sampling. By using the process sampling, the continuous time signal will be converted into the discrete time signal. This is very, very important. Sampling, it is a procedure of converting continuous time signals into the discrete time signal. Here this is a continuous time signal and it is a triangular signal, and by using this one I am going to convert that is into the discrete time signal. By using the continuous time signal, discrete time signal can be derived by the process is called sampling. That means what? Here x of t is a continuous time signal on which we will be applying the sampling, so that resultant signal will be the x of n. Here you should remember that in case of continuous time signal, that independent variable is enclosed with parenthesis, whereas in case of discrete time signal, this independent variable, that is integer, is enclosed with the square bracket. So this is the representation, difference between the representation of continuous time signal and the discrete time signal. X of t, here independent variable is enclosed with the parenthesis, whereas here the independent variable is enclosed with the square bracket. And from the continuous time signal, we will be converting that is into the discrete time signal by using the process that is called sampling. This is continuous time signal x of t, and this is the x of n is the discrete time signal, and by using the sampling procedure we can convert the continuous time into the discrete time signal. So that whatever the continuous time signal is there, that I am using to reconstruct the discrete time one. So here I am going with the same signal. This is x of n, I can call, because we are going with the what? It is a discrete time signal. But I wanted to prove what is the existence of integer. To prove that I am not changing the time, so that I am going with the t only. So now I am defining the signal. Defining the signal at the some 5 instant of time. At the minus t2 I am defining the signal. At minus t1 I am defining. t0 I am defining. And it is t1, t2. So from this, at minus t2 we have the signal is 0, and minus t1 is also we have the signal is 0. And if you wanted to go with the, at this is minus t1 by 2 also you can go, and it is plus t1 by 2 also you can go. So here from this we can get the signal here. At t2 there is no signal, that is 0. At minus t1 there is no signal, it is 0. But at the minus t1 by 2, there is a signal if this is a minus t1 by 2. Here we are having the signal, that is this is minus t1 by 2, there is a signal. And at t is equals to 0, we have the signal whose amplitude is a. And again at the t by 2, positive t by 2, again we are having the signal, that is here. At t1 is also there is no signal. The signal is now converted into the continuous time into the discrete time. This dotted one is a continuous one, and whatever the real signal is I drawn, that is a discrete signal. Now this is a continuous time signal and the discrete time signal. For example, this time period, that is T0 to T1, T1 to T2, the time period is equal, then that is named as uniformly sampled signal. That are uniformly sampled signal. Otherwise, if this time period is not equal, that signal is named as non-uniformly sampled signal. So here I am going to define one more point. If T0, if T1 minus T0 is equals to T2 minus T1 is equals to T3 minus T1 is equals to, and so on, Tn minus Tn1 minus 1 is equals to only capital T may be anything, then that particular thing is named as uniformly sampled signal. Uniformly sampled signal. If T1 minus T0 is not equals to T2 minus T1, then that signal is named as non-uniformly sampled signal. Non-uniformly sampled signal. So that let assume the time period T is equals to, that is I can call it is T minus 0, and next one is equals to, that is 2T minus T is equals to 3T minus 2T is equals to 4T minus 3T. Then I'll explain that one. I'll explain clearly that particular thing. I'm redrawing the signal now. This is a discrete time signal. We have constructed this discrete time signal from the continuous time signal. This is x of En, and it is, for our convenience, I'm assuming this is T only. Here I am going to explain the existence of integer value, that is independent variable in case of discrete signal. Here this is 0, and I can call it is T1, I can call it is T2, I can call it is T3, and likewise. If these are positive, and this will be minus T1, this is minus T2, and this is minus T3. Then here we will be having the signal. Here the signal is what? Here the signal is A, and here the signal is somewhat, and here the signal is 0, and here also signal is 0. Here also signal is there, and it is 0, and it is 0. This is a discrete time signal. Here I am going with one conclusion, one assumption, that is T1 minus 0 is equals to T2 minus T1 is equals to T3 minus T2 is equals to, here also I can write it is, that is 0 minus of minus T1 is equals to, like that you can go with. If that time period is same, then that is called uniformly sampled signal. Uniformly sampled signal. So that I am assuming this time period is T. If I am assuming this time period is T, and this is also T now, and this is also T. So like that it is going to have up to N of T. So I can write now, if the time period is T, if time period is T, I can write these are, that is T minus 0 is equals to 2T minus T is equals to 3T minus T, 2T is equals to T1. That means what? Here the samples are going to change, that is this will be 0. Now this will be T, this will be 2T, and this will be 3T. Up to NT we can have. If this is up to NT, we can write this is about, this is NT, this will be x of NT only, x of NT. And this is what? Here this is represented what? This is represented with 0, T, 2T, 3T, and up to, that is NT. So that if I remove this, N is from, if I remove this is x of NT, right? If I remove T from this one, I can remove the T from here. So that now this is 0, 1, 2, 3 and n. This remains what? This signal is remains x of n only. So in the discrete time signal, it is not time, it is integer only. Simple thing, I have chosen an uniformly sampled signal from the continuous time signal, and by using the sampling we have converted the continuous time signal into the uniformly sampled signal. Then I have assumed the time period is t, and if it is t and this is 0 to t is t, and so that if it will be t, it will be 2t, it will be 3t, and the last one will be the nt. If we represented this x-axis in terms of nt, we have to write here also nt. If I cancel t and t, it remains x of n and it remains simply n only. Now n is an integer. Likewise, you have to understand the very key points that here in case of discrete time signal is denoted with x of n, where n is not time, it is an integer. It is independent variable. It is independent variable, but it is not time. It is not time. It is an integer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 are the integers only. This is an integer. And this is uniformly sampled signal, so that 0 to t, t to 2t and 2t to 3t, the time period is same for every time division. So here the discrete time signal is a 1. We can have the signal at a discrete instant of time only, at a specific intervals of time only we can have the signal. So this is about continuous time signal, this is about the continuous time signal, and this one is the discrete time signal. By making use of the continuous time signal, we have converted that into the discrete time signal. The discrete time signal is denoted with the x of n, where n is an independent variable and it is an integer. And the conclusion, one more conclusion is that in the graphical representation of signal, independent variable must be taken on x-axis, and whereas the amplitude of the signal must be taken on y-axis. In case of continuous time signal, independent variable is enclosed with the parenthesis, whereas in the discrete time signal, independent variable, that is integer, is enclosed with the square brackets. And the best example for the continuous time signals, that is a square wave, sinusoidal wave, cosine wave, and triangle wave, all these are the best example for the continuous time signal. And coming to the discrete time signal, that is noting down the blood pressure of a patient for every 1 hour in a one particular day, and if you plot the same into the graph, and that will be the resultant will be the discrete time signal. Likewise, this session is completely about the continuous time signal and the discrete time signal. And the next class I am going to give the how we are going to represent the discrete time signals. There are 4 ways to represent the discrete time signal. In the next class I am going to explain that is in detail. So key point, you have to remember only the things you have to remember in this one. I am going to conclude this one. Key points. X of, whenever you see the x of t, and you should understand that it is a continuous time signal, where t is an independent variable. Generally it is a time. In general it is a time. From the definition of the signal, it is clear that it is a dependent function on one or more independent variables. So that t is an independent variable. It is a function of one or more independent variable. And here, t is a independent variable. In the graphical representation of any signal, the independent variable must be taken on x-axis. Amplitude of the signal must be taken on y-axis. If this is x of t, and this will be the minus x of t, and if it is t, and this will be the minus t. And coming to the discrete time signal that is x of n, where n is not time, it is an integer values, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And here independent variable is time, here the independent variable is integer, and it is a function of integer, so that here the integer is enclosed with the square bracket, here the independent variable is enclosed with the parenthesis. And here also this independent variable always taken on x axis, this is n, and this will be the minus n, and this will be the x of n, and this will be the x of minus x of n. So by using this representation, in the next class I am going to explain the various representations for the discrete time signal. Discrete time signal is very simple. Discrete time signal is a one which can be defined or which can be specified at the certain instant of time only, whereas in a continuous time signal we can have the signal like this. From here to here the signal is specified. Whereas in case of discrete time signal, we can have the signal is at some discrete values of discrete instant of time only. So this is the complete comparison or the differences between the continuous and the discrete time signal. In the next class, I am going to talk about the various representations for the discrete time signal. Thank you, students.